But I want to say that next to being president, in fact, rather than being president, I'd prefer to be a senior in this high school. All that this country is, all that it hopes to be, is right in this room tonight. Thank you very much.
My sister went to Burroughs the year that John F. Kennedy was at the prom. She shook his hand. I remember she came home, said she's never going to wash her hand. I am now, it's a second generation. Soon to be a third generation will be going to Burbank Schools.
I'm a lifelong born and raised Burbankian. I started out going to Lincoln, and then when that shut down to be the Board of Education, the next closest school was Stevenson, and then it was Jordan Junior High School. Started playing baseball at John Burroughs as a 9th grader, so I'd leave junior high to go play on the freshman JV team.
I'm one of those, married your high school sweetheart, stayed in Burbank, bought our home in Burbank, raised our children in Burbank, and I attended McKinley Elementary School, Jordan Junior High, and John Burroughs High School. I am proud to say that my grandson now attends McKinley Elementary School, and his great-grandfather also attended McKinley Elementary School, so that's 4 generations in the Burbank Public Schools.
We moved from Santa Barbara County to here 8 years ago. We wanted our children, as they transitioned into their teen years, to have more opportunities. When I was looking for work, we saw Burbank and there was an opportunity, and the job was attractive, but what was really attractive were the schools.
Contrary to public opinion, I am not a native Burbankian. We moved here when I was in the 4th grade to Mingay Elementary School, and then I went to Luther Junior High School, and then John Burroughs, class of 72.
I had Mrs. Stefano in the 1st grade, and I really loved her, and I had Miss Chrissy in kindergarten, and she played the piano, and we would sit on the rug and eat a snack, graham crackers and juice, and we would sing while she played the piano. I thought, I'm going to be a teacher. I want to be like her.
Some of my fondest memories were of music. I played the violin. Mr. Brady was the orchestra teacher that came to our site and gave music lessons.
We had elementary music, so I learned what was my first instrument? It was the trombone, and then in middle school I took up the viola and the cello. Then in high school I played the viola, and then, they had summer school in those days where you could take the guitar.
So when I started at Mingay and I had Mr. Brady as my orchestra teacher, we had music teachers that came and went to each of the schools as an elementary music teacher. In the early 90s, when Katie started kindergarten, they had been eliminated, so there was no elementary music teachers. The only music that was available to her was through Kim Anderson, was a teacher who volunteered to have a little chorus after school. And now as the transition goes, just as she's beginning high school is when I started to work for the district. And then that's when we started to bring back the elementary music teachers. Every child in my day experiencing at least the opportunity to try an instrument or to try to sing and to do that.
My daughter was in 4th grade at the time. She was very nervous about coming. And I popped up video of NSYNC performing, and it was mind-blowing what I saw. One of the best show choirs in all of the United States. And as she's watching this, I said to her, Sydney, you're going to be in that choir. Now she's in that choir. Last year she had a solo. She's president of that choir, heavily involved. For Jacob, it was a little bit different. He's one of the main reasons we moved here. He already was drawing and doing these caricatures that were really, they looked like base animation. And so happy to find Jonelle Pickett and her program there, because she was so good and just helped him become who he needed to be. It was huge for him. So it gave him a voice, got him through high school, got him into college, And now he's at Warner Brothers, he's working. I couldn't have written a better script.
My son kind of learned when he was a drum major at Muir, the rewards of having a music background. Music, it's a discipline. You need to rehearse and so forth. The job he does now, I always say to him, you know, you look back and what made this work for you? Music teachers, Dean Emmel, Burbank High.
I will admit I wasn't the best academic. I wasn't that AP student. I just wasn't. But I loved sports and I was pretty competitive. So Title IX had just come on board. So I was on some of the first girls competitive teams. And so obviously that sense of sportsmanship and competitiveness, that was very important for me as an adult. I mean, you better learn a little bit how to compete.
What's special about the elementary PE program that I never saw from my daughter is that on specific days and times, you have a trained, professional, educated teacher with a teaching credential in PE, helping them learn sportsmanship, learn games, learn the joy of physical activity. And that is like a blessing that's hard to see because you just think they're playing, but they're really not. They're learning so much more.
Is one of my favorite memories. In 6th grade, it was the flag football, the big competition, and I was the quarterback for my team, and Jeff Barrett was the quarterback for the other team, and we won. And of course, Jeff Barrett went on to set every record at John Burroughs High School, got a full ride to Brown to go play. Athletics and academics in the public school system, I fully believe defined me and helped me succeed in the entertainment industry.
Back in my day, kids' career technical programs were basically one thing. You were trained to go to work at Lockheed. You had metal, you had electrical, but it trained you to go get a job if you weren't going to go to college in one of the industries here in Burbank. Those industries moved away, and what was left was really our studio industry for the most part. And the blessing of the CTE program today is that now students are actually getting trained in industries that are here in Burbank. So we have post-production, we have sound, we have editing, we have stagecraft. The woodshop classes are teaching them to build sets. Foods is now culinary art. We are training kids to learn the joy of the restaurant industry and the service industry in general. So those programs at both of our high schools and our middle schools are just fabulous. Personally, I have such a heart for that.
I graduated from Burbank High School in 2017, and now I work at Warner Brothers. I don't think I would be here today if I wasn't living in Burbank, because all the students are here, all these opportunities are presented to you. I mean, freshman year, that's when I started the mentorship program, and at the end of every year they have their little film festival, Nickelodeon, with the high school, and if I was going to high school anywhere else, of course they wouldn't have that. So I was grateful enough to be part of that.
Our Burbank schools and the education of our students is the backbone of what has made us who we are.
Early on, an executive told me that he's like, Ravi, you're going to go really far in this business. And I thought it was my work ethic, and that I was really confident I knew what I was doing. And he's like, no, it's because you're grounded. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes like, you know who you are and where you came from. And it's not something that, most people have.
It's just Burbank is the best city in the world. I kind of sometimes get emotional saying that, but it's true.
If you look back at all in the history, and we have a tremendous, tremendous history of Burbank High being well over 100 years old, this community has been its own little microcosm in the midst of all the world around us here. And it always has been that way.
It's just such a special place that we didn't want to be anywhere else. And that's part of it. Everybody's connected in some way. Everybody's super supportive, and that's what makes it so great.
For my kids, they could walk to school. And that was important to me because they felt very close to where they were going to school. it's actually part of your life. It's the fabric of your life. And so that was important to us too.
So my son moved away. He actually married his high school sweetheart too, which is funny. But missed Burbank, had the opportunity to move back, and he is so happy here. He follows, believe me, he follows all the school and city issues. Again, he feels connected.
We educate our children. They may go out into the world, and I think that's probably happened since time immemorial. I am out of here. I'm going to college. I'm going away. And then they come back when it's time to raise their own children and contribute back into a community. This is where they want to come home to. So you have to have a good home to come home to.